football team's got me drinking. My football team's got me drinking. Give me beer, whiskey, wine or gin, anything to shake this mood I'm in. My football team's got me drinking.
Back at it again with another shade of blue. We are the KC Soccer Journal. My name is Cody Bradley. I've got Thad Bell, Kerry Robinson, and Robert Russert here. Plenty to get to this week. Off-season, normally light stuff. Not that much Sporting KC action, but I've got a full rundown here for the show. We're going to start off, Thad, with the center back rumor. We spent last show talking about how if there was one position we thought that they needed, we thought it would be at center back. And now we have a center back rumor. And his name is, he's got a cool name. Sounds like almost like a Game of Thrones name. Orblorian.
Is that how you say it?
Probably not.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Oh, so no reporting on how to say Orblorian yet. But he's a 25-year-old Israeli. He's coming from the defending cup champions over there, Hapoel Be'er Sheva. Is that close enough? I just really went for it. Yeah, what do we think of this, Thad? What are you thinking?
From everything I can tell, he's a decent center back, but it also looks like even if they sign him, they're not seeing him until summer anyway, because the team's not going to let him go. He's on the free contract and go sign somewhere else deal.
Yeah, that puts a damper on this.
Can't we just get some good news, guys? Can't we just get some good news?
I know. It's like we thought we had some good news, and then it's like, oh, but we're going to have to wait. So, yeah, that's not looking good for immediate help. And then, so Calvin Harris, January's over. Calvin Harris was the only addition to the roster in January, Kerry. What are you thinking of the roster so far?
Well, I'm sure we'll get to it later, but when you see those roster lineups for the preseason games,
yeah,
they switch them out, and we're like, who are all these people? Like these, they just found random guys and put them on the field and wrote down their names.
Yeah, it's like the beginning of Major League when they're going around to all the fans, and those guys are like, who the F are these guys?
Great analogy. Love it. But we know how that turned out, Cody, so there is hope.
Hey, actually, that was a good point. I didn't really consider that. Forever the optimist, Robert. Good job.
No, I am becoming not so much an optimist anymore. I made the sarcastic comment in our Slack. Okay, Calvin Harris must be the savior, right? Yeah. We're all in on Calvin Harris.
I guess we're going to need him to be the savior. We just lost Robert as he said that.
At least he got the full line out before he left this time.
What position is Calvin Harris? I just entirely... Winger.
He plays
that's right.
wing, mostly right. But this last game he started in place of Shoppy.
That's right, yeah.
And he played a good
amount. Who also subbed in, yeah. He also subbed in a little bit, too.
Which, may I just say, in these preseason games, only one person has scored, and that's been Shoppy.
Right. Yeah. They got to get him on the field.
Yeah, let's not play him. But
no, I was wondering. I saw that in the lineup for that game. He played in the 60-minute first half, but he subbed in like the 48th minute or something like that. So he played 12 minutes of that 60-minute first half. I was wondering if he was like working his way back from something. It just seemed like an odd, got to get him those 12 minutes or whatever it was.
Was that the second game?
It was the most recent one, the Charlotte game.
Huh. Probably just not fully fit, so, for Calvin Harris, because he signed later than... He didn't get into camp until just, a week ago. So yeah. He probably wasn't fully fit.
Did you do any research on L'Oreal? There we go. Got it at the third try there.
We just got to start calling him Or.
Yeah. We're probably pronouncing that wrong. Is it possible we're pronouncing a 2-letter name incorrectly?
You've known me long enough to know, yes, it is very possible I could be mispronouncing a 2-letter name. I don't know how, and I'm sure it's very feasible, though.
Welcome back, Robert. Good to have you. You delivered a take and then just disappeared instantly right after it was fully delivered. So it was good timing on that, but it worked out. Okay, so I left the rundown here kind of short on this first thing because we were talking about all the off-season activity and the roster and all of that. And look, we made it 4 minutes pretty much into this podcast talking about the roster and all the activity. Is that a problem? That was kind of my goal here. We were going to go so short, and then it'd be like, oh my God, what's happening?
Well,
that's all we can
karma,
talk about
right?
the roster.
It's just karma. I say something negative. boom,
It is a problem. I do expect them to at least sign 2 or 3 of the 3 trialists, and almost certainly one homegrown, but I don't know if he'll be with the team or not. You know, he might just be loaned to the second team for most of the time, or he might be a 2-team signing and then with a future homegrown contract. I don't know.
Do you know anything about the other trialists? I guess we did have that article on the site about that, didn't we? That was from a while ago. I was forgetting about that.
But they're defenders, so I mean, one of
Yeah.
them is a center back, one's a outside. I think the other 2 are outside backs, but could play some in the middle. So I expect at least 2 of those, probably all 3, to get a contract just to have some depth if they don't have anybody in the next week or 2.
Yeah.
You got to have somebody to play.
Yeah.
21 days out, 17 players officially.
Not quite roster compliant. There's an article on our site also about that, on what they need to do to be roster compliant.
Well, yeah, but there's a default roster compliance there. So like, we'd get charged for players if they don't have them signed, but they'll have players on the supplemental roster, which doesn't count against your cap. But those guys can, if they get a pay bump, can be moved up to the senior roster.
That's funny to think about, that the league forces you to like pay for players if you don't sign them. Like, just a mitigation for the years of San Jose, like just in case they were fine with being so bad that they didn't even sign enough players. So they actually you actually have to pay for somebody if you don't sign them.
Yeah. Actually, I wonder, like, I imagine most leagues do have something like that, where that you have to have a minimum and then there's some penalty for not having it. Because I know NWSL in 2017 at least had some rule like that, because you had to have a minimum of 18 players, period. They didn't have a differentiation between senior and non-senior or the supplemental roster, because they didn't have, like enough pay back then anyway. But they had to, SKC had to go out and sign a player because they had somebody on long-term injury, and they just kind of hid it for like a month and a half until somebody asked the league about it. That would have been me.
Of course.
And only you. Okay. All right. Well, we did all we could on the roster. We've got other stuff to get to. What do you got, Carrie?
Did you see that there was a random Sporting KC like name drop in a article about Lewandowski coming to MLS?
Really? I didn't. I missed that.
Yes, we are in there.
A slight little name drop, a footnote in an article. I'll take it on Lewandowski.
Yeah, I thought we mentioned that last week, maybe, but yeah, I don't think it's any of the.
Oh, I was thinking she was bringing up a new one. That was all this ever
sorry.
was. Yeah. We were always just a little footnote. That's right.
As
good
somebody
reminder.
who could use them. But.
Yeah, and that was the thing. It wasn't even rumors connected. It was just like, here are some teams that look like they could use some help.
See, you know how we've kind of pondered when it became known that Peter Maluk was assuming control of the team, buying the controlling interest, however you want to say it. I've asked a couple different people if he's officially in charge now, because I assumed that, yeah, you can make the deal, but you still have to get approved by like the board of governors or the other owners, or something has to be approved, right? And I asked that, and they're like, well, we think it's done, but then we don't know. There's another more meeting come up. So nobody really knows if he's fully in charge yet. Okay. Which has been why I've been trying to ask, like, well, when he said we're going to spend money next year, does he mean 2027 for sure? Or
the year after he begins, or
like, why would that be? And so that part of me is wondering, like, well, he's going to spend extra money, but not until he's fully in charge. So that's all kind of, I just don't know. And I had somebody drop into my DMs last night the night before actually, talking about some of that. And again, I don't know that they know, but it was that very much he wasn't going to spend the extra cash, or at least not large amounts of it, until the next season when he's fully in control. And I kind of asked a lot of people recently about, is he really in charge now? And they're like, well, he's a billionaire, man. He's got a lot of things to do, so it's going to take him a little time to like fully assert everything. And I'm like, that's why you hire people for that. But anyway, I don't know, man. I'm not saying that I know for a fact that this is the case, but everybody I ask can't really answer the question to my satisfaction that he's either in charge or not in charge.
Too busy being a billionaire. What a life.
I know.
It's really good to have some clarity with this team finally, you know?
Hey, as we'll probably talk about in another segment, there's more clarity here than there is on another soccer team in town.
Okay, yeah, let's definitely talk about that. We'll be right back.
Fiscally responsible, financial geniuses, monetary magicians. These are things people say about drivers who switch their car insurance to Progressive and save hundreds. Because Progressive offers discounts for paying in full, owning a home, and more. Plus, you can count on their great customer service to help when you need it, so your dollar goes a long way. Visit Progressive.com to see if you could save on car insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states or situations.
Every sip of Coca-Cola brings you closer to the excitement of the FIFA World Cup 26. Because nothing compares to the joy. So grab a Coke and drink in the FIFA World Cup 26. No purchase necessary. 13 plus in 50 U.S. states and D.C. with a web-enabled device. Ends March 1st with 8 entry periods. Rules at cokeurl.com/soccer rules.
All right. Rough first segment there, if I'm being honest. Robert was in and out. Listeners, we're using a new system here for this. We're on Riverside. I guess we're working out some kinks. Carrie, also, your microphone is picking up literally everything. If you rubbed your hands together right now, that was as loud as anyone speaking. So we're learning the ins and outs of Riverside. It's picking up everything for Carrie.
It's like she's gonna like do some ASMR recording thing with just rubbing hands together and
that's where I was going with that.
Softly talking into the microphone
and now it's so quiet because she muted, and that's why it got all quiet there. But yeah, it was a little bit of SMR there. ASMR. There we go.
Yeah, I had it right. The old guy got it right.
Okay, so some actual soccer. We're gonna get through it. Maybe Robert will come back. We'll see. But did you guys see on Mike's Across State Lines that William on First Mention Agata is headed to the Spanish Second Division, Thad?
I did, and I want to thank Mike for always doing all of that stuff and being...
Love those articles, man.
...the source for everything. Like every time I go, I wonder if this former Academy guy is still playing. And I start to message Mike, and then I go, no, go look at the damn article, dumbass. And so I go look at the article and make sure that I know what's going on.
Yeah, it's like the let me Google that for you, except, we have Mike. Just definitely ask him.
Yeah.
So he's going to the Spanish Second Division. They are next to last place, so apparently he's going there with the goal to save them from being relegated. But
he's their Calvin Harris.
Right, which means they're going to be in the third division next year. Robert, welcome back. Oh, and then we lost Carrie. Oh, man, this is fun. Yeah, we were just explaining to the listeners that we're on Riverside and working some kinks out here. And, I welcomed you back, and then Carrie jumped away.
I don't think any of this is Riverside, man. This is all Robert and Carrie at this point.
Well,
you and I are still on.
Their poor internet was working on all the other things we were doing. So, moving to Sporting KC again. Thad, you kind of teased a little bit there. Some clarity. One of the confusions we always had was, is Rapha Wicky even coaching?
He is now able to coach. He was on the sideline for the scrimmage this weekend.
Good stuff.
I don't know. Apparently the second, the first assistant coach, Edu Rubio, isn't yet, but
okay.
So
we're still getting there.
Wicky is, yeah. So Wicky can coach legally. I don't know if he can coach, but he can coach legally. And
he's allowed to try to coach, is what you're saying.
Yeah, and I think other people have mentioned this, but my wife had some people over last night for a birthday thing, and there was a bunch of people there.
Happy birthday!
One of the women that goes to the games pretty often was like, man, this Wicky guy is like so good looking. She kept talking about that. And I'm like, yeah, I know I've heard other people say that. And then I said,
Nerd
to me,
chic, I said.
Yeah, to me, he just looks like Waldo, and she got mad at me because I kind of ruined it for her.
But to be fair, Waldo, I know we always saw him from a long way away, but like kind of good looking guy. I know he had the glasses, but he seemed
Nothing
rather
wrong with glasses.
strapping,
Right,
broad
Carrie?
shoulders.
Yeah,
Very
I got
welcome
that
back.
jawline. Thank you. Does this
Where
sound
did
better?
you go?
I went to go switch my mics. I don't know if this works any better.
Sound good. Rub your hands together again. Okay. That's still pretty loud, but I think it sounds better.
It's better than the previous one.
I'm hearing less of the molecules floating around your room, so I think we're doing better there.
Cody, I think you need less good ears, man. Sorry.
We were talking about Carrie. If you didn't hear, Rapha Wicky is officially coaching. He can officially coach, except the problem was they lost the first game, 1-0 to Charlotte.
Yeah.
They didn't give up a goal till like the 87th minute or 85th minute, whatever it was. I mean, that was the second team.
I didn't even see when the goal came, so that's good. I saw. What's the guy's name? Do you have it in front of you? The guy that scored has a good name.
I do have it. It's Pep Beal.
Pep
B-I-E-L.
Beal. Good name. Good name. Do we play the same teams every year? Is that just how it goes in the preseason? Florida International, Charlotte FC. It's just everybody. I guess that's how that goes. Everybody that goes to the same area.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what it is.
That's Major League Baseball spring training too, I guess.
I mean,
Welcome
last
back.
year.
Look, we have all four here.
Last year we didn't have a goal in preseason. I'm pretty sure.
That's right. Oh man, that's right.
So if we're looking at hindsight, we really needed work on defenses this last season, and we're getting it. Maybe.
They've only given up 2 goals, and they've scored 1, so that is an improvement. Right?
We're in such a weird spot. Like I think so many fans are with Carrie and I on how it's like we're so ready to be optimistic and we're right there on the precipice of it, and we're ready to have something to cheer for. But then we look around and it's like, all right, Calvin Harris in January, here we go.
Yeah, I've often described myself as an optimistic realist, but I think when you shorten that down, I'm just our new center back's name, Or. Okay, yeah. If we're pronouncing it right. Or not.
Okay. Well, so Thad, you also mentioned another one. Another team in the city has some less clarity on anything. They played a game, but they kept it a secret.
Yeah. The Current played the expansion team, Denver Summit, and we know that the Current scored a goal, but we have no idea lineups, who played, other than who scored that one lone goal.
Interesting.
And we don't know if Denver scored any.
Denver scored at least 2, according to Denver's Instagram.
That's good.
So when you say secret, as in, did we know the game was going to be played?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah,
Closed door.
They didn't keep the game secret. They're keeping what happened secret.
Right.
Yeah.
So I did not see their Instagram, but I looked in a couple other places to see if they posted anything. So I didn't even know they scored. So cool. Denver's off to a good start over the Current.
Exactly. But we did get an email full of quotes from Chris Armas, and that man. I mean, this is just an email. That man talks forever.
Yes, he does. There was availability last week. Again, they didn't have any availability when they were still in town. They had availability on the road, and the Current are very much about like, we only have a certain amount of time that you can have availability, and I think only 4 questions, maybe 5 questions, got asked to Armas because he talked so long for every one of them.
Well, did someone edit this down? They need to have somebody editing down if they're sending a text in an email to people.
After having seen him talk in person, I think they did edit it down.
Okay. So Robert has been in and out. I haven't been worried about it until now because we're going to get to segment 3 here before too long, and he's a very important part of segment 3. He promised us a game. Robert has trivia for us today.
Yeah, it was his turn.
It was his turn, and we've lost him.
Honestly, right now, I think even if he comes back, we can't trust doing it because we might get partway through and he gets dropped again.
Well, I'm glad I didn't didn't say what it is, or should I say what it is for next time when we do have him? Because I'm kind of proud of the name.
Sure, you should preview it for another time.
Okay. Okay, well, so we're going to go to break and give him the length of our break, because those are, always so long, so it's going to give him plenty of time to join, and we'll see if he makes it. We'll be right back.
Membership means more with American Express Business Gold. Earn 4 times membership rewards points in your top 2 eligible spending categories every month, including eligible U.S. advertising purchases and select media, and U.S. purchases at restaurants, including takeout and delivery. What are you waiting for? Get the card that flexes with your spending every month. Terms and points cap apply. Learn more at americanexpress.com/business-gold. Amex Business Gold Card. Built for business by American Express.
The world moves fast. Your workday, even faster. Pitching products, drafting reports, analyzing data. Microsoft 365 Copilot is your AI assistant for work. Built into Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and other Microsoft 365 apps you use. Helping you quickly write, analyze, create, and summarize. So you can cut through clutter and clear a path to your best work. Learn more at Microsoft.com/M365 Copilot.
Does it ever feel like you're a marketing professional just speaking into the void? But with LinkedIn ads, you can know you're reaching the right decision makers, a network of 130 million of them, in fact. You can even target buyers by job title, industry, company, seniority, skills, and did I say job title? See how you can avoid the void and reach the right buyers with LinkedIn ads. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a free $250 credit for the next one. Get started at linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
All right, listen up, nacho chips. Quiet down, crispy potatoes. This is the moment Velveeta's been preparing you for, and you're not about to crack under pressure. Today's the day to go all in on the drip. Velveeta's Heat and Eat Queso is the MVP of any game day spread, so stick by them, and you'll be golden. Now get out there and make delicious history. No tailgate party is complete without Velveeta.
All right. Robert didn't make it during that long break. So we are not going to get to play Robert's Worldly Cup trivia. I really liked the sound of this game. We're going to learn something about the countries coming here, the countries that will be ascending upon North America. Talk about soccer. That sounds great. That sounds like the exact show I want to do. And then he disappears.
I don't know what to tell you, man. It looked like last time he popped up for a minute, he was in a different location, so he's probably trying to get to a better Wi-Fi spot.
But I do have something on here that we can discuss that I really wanted to hear your thoughts on. That is the Zoran Savić situation. The former assistant coach, longtime assistant coach, Zoran Savić, is suing On Goal, the group that owns Sporting Kansas City. That I figured you will have some information about this. You're going to know all of the ins and outs of what is being discussed, so I wanted to hear your thoughts on everything.
Sure. Any court case, lawsuit type of situation, you never know how some judge might rule on certain things. But on me reading through it, it is pretty much just a comparison of how youth sports works for the most part. And I think the closest one I think he has to legitimate complaint is that when they changed stuff around, they asked him to send teams over to their new different affiliate thing up north, and he helped out and didn't get any compensation for it. I think that's the strongest case he has out of any of this, because there's things about sporting controls, a certain really high percentage of all the turf fields where kids can train and play and all that stuff. And honestly, because he said in this lawsuit it was 49 of 62 or 79% of the turf fields. We did a lot of calculations and those numbers don't add up.
Okay. Well, let's back up a little bit. He owned or started a youth soccer club in the area. So all of this is surrounding, but like, to put it short, at least as I understand it, it's the different points he's making are all surrounding that Sporting Kansas City or On Goal is kind of creating a monopoly around youth soccer in Kansas City. Is that something close?
Yeah, I think that's pretty accurate. And the thing is, though, like, because my daughter played youth soccer, and I was much more in tune with the different clubs and all that at that time. But there has almost always been 2 or 3 really big clubs around the area, and then a bunch of smaller ones, and they get swallowed up, and other ones pop up, and it's always a changing kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And Sporting has been, the big player in that since they became Sporting and all that stuff. Like Vermees was involved in starting Sporting Blue Valley before it was Sporting Blue Valley and all that stuff. So it's been always going on. I think the problem is that he basically had an affiliate, and then with various reasons he lost the affiliate or left, and they started another affiliate, and he was giving coaches and teams to him and stuff. But what I was saying earlier, like he said that Sporting controls 49 of 62 of the turf fields. Well, Shields is a large number of them. That's not owned by Sporting. That's not controlled by Sporting. That's ran by Heartland Soccer Association. There's a bunch of Sporting teams that play there.
Yeah,
but it's not who owns it. They don't control it. Heartland controls a lot of those. And by control, I mean who gets to play and who gets to practice.
Well, and that's like there's more fields there than the so 49 of 62 you said, so the 13 that they are claiming that they don't have.
Well, that's not Shields. They're including Shields in the ones that Sporting controls.
Yeah.
Sporting really controls the Wyandotte fields. They don't own the fields at Swope, which is like 6 turf fields or so, but they do control them because they manage them.
So if I'm reading through what you said at the beginning there on looking through the merits of some of this, one thing you said made me think that you may sympathize with the main problem of that. Maybe Sporting Kansas City, it does have too much control or is asserting too much dominance over it, but that this particular lawsuit, there's only one of several points that you think is going to have any merit.
I think would have the most merit. I mean, if you judged in favor of him on this, you would have to it's essentially an indictment on youth sports, essentially.
Right.
Not necessarily Sporting in this case. Now, I'm not saying Sporting has not been exerted influence to get the larger share of clubs, because that's what every club tries to do, right? Like at one point my daughter played for an independent club that only had 2 teams, like one of 2 age groups. Mm-hmm. And they kept asking me to see if that little 2-team club would convert over to SKC at the time, who used to be Fusion or Futura and something else. And I mean, it's been all over the place. But then it became SKC, and they kept pressuring me to see if my daughter's team would do it. So finally I would ask them, and they said, "Oh yeah, okay, we'll do it." But then that became KC Athletics, and I think that still exists. So it's a constantly moving thing.
You said it would be an indictment on youth sports, but is that where youth sports should be indicted? Like, is there that problem in youth sports? It's just that that's just going to be the way it is, and it's probably not going to change.
I think in soccer, it's going to change more so than maybe in other sports. Because people we got to get rid of pay to play for youth soccer. There's pay to play in like every youth sport. There's just varying degrees of it, right? Mm-hmm. And I've known parents who had kids in softball or baseball or whatever, and they have travel teams and they go to tournaments all over the place. Yeah. And they have to rent places to practice and all that. It's the same stuff.
I do, on that specific point though, I'm sorry to cut you off, but I do think that there is something there that whatever it costs to play soccer in this country, it should probably be less, because everywhere else in the world, kids are kicking stuff around in dirt and they're becoming better soccer players than we are. So whatever we're doing, like something there needs to be, yes, if you want to join a traveling team and travel all over, you're going to pay money as you're traveling. But I do think that there is some point there that soccer is a very simple international thing that can be played with very little equipment. And it should be, I think, cheaper than some other sports.
Well, I would like it to be. And I think it will be. It will continue to have more cheaper options because the more teams that exist, because there's 30 MLS teams, there's however many USL teams, and a lot of them have academies. And even like MPSL teams and USL 2 teams have their own academies that either are free or fairly cheap.
Yeah.
And they're all trying to develop players because in the long run, if you develop a player, in theory, if they sign to be a pro someday, you're supposed to get a compensation payment. I'm trying to remember the right words for there's 2 different versions of that, but the compensation type payment, like it's supposed to filter down, which is one of the things that sometimes kills deals. But
well, wasn't there that happened not too long? I'm thinking it was Weston McKinney's youth club at some point was suing somebody to get due money to them.
Yep. So that's how some of that's supposed to filter down, and it does more so around the world. MLS at one time said we don't pay those, and they make the other team pay it if it's going to be paid. But I think as we get more teams in this country, there will be more cheaper options. We don't have the saturation that, like England has 120, 30, 50, whatever professional teams in the top 4 divisions, who all have some kind of academy. So they're trying to recruit kids. They're trying to steal kids from each other, so that it's less for that. But I've talked to people who grew up in Europe and they had to pay to play on certain teams. Mm-hmm. Maybe not as much as you have to here, but the distances are different and stuff like that also makes some difference. Like my daughter played in every state surrounding, almost every state surrounding Missouri and Kansas.
One thing all of this made me think of, Thad, was, over the years, Vermees seemed to always kind of fight against the whole idea of the territories for homegrown players in the academy. And, he always bucked against it all, just the way it is that Sporting KC just can pick from youth players in the immediate area around us, and the California teams and the Texas teams get that's where all of the players come from in this country, and they just get their pick from them. So he always bucked against that, and I'm just, that feeling of his is kind of manifesting in this problem of this is the one area that they could choose from. Peter Vermees was going to make sure not one single player slipped through their fingers, or that they were finding every single player they could have. So it's kind of unsurprising to me to hear, how fiercely Sporting was doing this kind of thing.
And then they have a number of affiliates, and even like in the lawsuit, it doesn't have the accurate number of affiliates, but it might have been accurate when they initially wrote it. I don't want to totally criticize that detail, but Sporting has affiliates, and those affiliates, I think most of them you have to pay to play for them, but some of them are subsidized and stuff like that. I'm not an expert on those, so I don't want to completely speak, but the academy is free. So if you play for Sporting Academy, it's paid for. They've reduced the number of academy teams this year so that they can focus more money on those teams, supposedly. Mm-hmm. Like better, so the upper age groups, 16, 17, so they can focus more on that and do that. As those, like USL teams, they aren't in that territories deal, so they can steal from anywhere, right? Mm-hmm. So that's where they're going to have an advantage right now. Is they can you didn't make the academy for the Galaxy or LAFC, you can come play for us.
Right, yeah.
And actually, if you don't make the academies, they've changed the rules, so if you don't make an academy, you can come play for another team. But they just have a little easier chance of stealing them and moving them on now because they're not under that agreement for territories, which is why that territory stuff needs to go away.
Okay. One thing before we get out of here, we didn't talk last week about the jersey leak. Carrie, what do you think of the new jersey, or the rumored jersey?
I like it. I think every year we see Minnesota's and we complain that, they're being creative and they're going outside the box and they're taking risks, and we can't do that. Although now we have purple in this jersey, it kind of feels like this is the most risk that we've been able to see with the jersey, if that makes sense. Yeah. It's
definitely a little more flamboyant. It does. I hadn't put that together, but it does kind of have the feel of something that Minnesota United would whip out. Yeah, Thad, what are you thinking of the flashiness of this?
Usually I'm like looking at these and going, I want to reserve judgment until I see it to see if I really like it or not. But I like this one, so I'll reserve judgment to see if I don't like it when I see it in person, I guess. Maybe the opposite direction.
Yeah, you're always promising or telling people to wait until they see the shorts and the socks and it on the field specifically. Yeah, we haven't got the shorts yet, but I do like where this is going. I don't know. I always talked about the Argyle thing. We call it Argyle, but it was just 3 diamonds is what they were. Like, it's not necessarily Argyle in the way that they had been using it. And now this one, those diamonds are just scattered all about. So it's a shade of Argyle, I guess.
You know how, like, if you get a fancy meal and they, like, deconstructed. That's what the word I was looking for. Like, you get a fancy meal, but it's deconstructed. That's what the diamonds are. It's a deconstructed Argyle. Like, they've just broke it down to its simplest element.
Yes.
And then that's all you get. You get, like, the little teaspoonful of sauce on top of, like, the barest minimum, like, little diamond shape of, toasted bread with 2 anchovies on it or something.
Spot on. That is the fine dining version of this. That's what Sporting has done. They're classy and fancy, and they've turned it into something else.
And now this jersey looks like it could be something that they stole from Atlas 9 down the road with like neon stuff from the 80s and stuff like that, which I'm all for, man. That's good. I hope they do neon in the stadium and stuff like that when they do this, if it's the theme, because I mean, you've seen like their Twitter, the profile and all that stuff, so it looks like you could be going down through a speakeasy time or something. I don't know, man. Just like has that flash to it, so I like it.
Yeah, I dig it. Okay, so yes, I'm sorry we didn't get to Robert's Worldly Cup trivia. Hopefully we'll have that next time. Thank you for listening. We'll be back next week. Sporting!
Skipper has just been sent off. Supporters strong have all gone soft. My football team's got me drinking. My football team's got me drinking. My football team's got me drinking. Give me beer or whiskey, wine or gin, anything to shake this mood I'm in. My football team's got me drinking. My football team's got me drinking. My football team's got me drinking.